Hey, Eurovision fam, it's Alesia Michelle. It has been a very, very long day, but I am so ready to talk about everything that I saw today. So today was Greece and San Marino finishing out the second rehearsals for the first semifinal, and then we got to see the Big Five, and I also got an opportunity to see some of the countries performing in the second semi-final. So we have a lot to talk about today. It's going to be a long day. I'm going to go through the Big Five, and I'm going to also give a follow up because for some of you, you saw the rehearsal clips. I have only seen, so I've seen semifinal one, and this is really just my second day here in Israel. I'm already having such a great time, and I have to say, so I'm recording this live, and I just have to tell you guys, I have like a light coming at me because I, of course, want you to see me, but it is like almost semi-blinding me from my computer. So, I mean, I think I probably look semi-decent, but you know. Next thing I want to say is, yes, I am wearing a shirt that has my name on it, and it is, I got a new video. At some point, I will try and figure out some type of situation where I can make it so you guys could have your own shirt, I guess. Because, yeah, I felt like I had to, own my brand, I guess, in quotation marks. And look, I got a new video. What else can I say? Hi everyone. So I've got Destiny, May, France, Jim K, Greece. People already asking me questions. Hey, Eurovision Sarah, you like that shirt? I mean, I guess I like it too. I mean, it has my name on it, so I guess I have to like it like a little bit or something like that. Um, Everyone's saying, oh yeah, you're late. Well, I have to say, I wanted to make sure. So I set this up at 11 p.m. Israeli time because I wanted to make sure that I would be on time. And it was a very long day. There's also no cab service in Israel right now, as many of you guys know. So I didn't want to chance anything. I wanted to make sure that I had ample time to work while I was at the press center, have some time to actually make it back to my Airbnb. And here I am broadcasting live. I know everyone's asking me about Michael Rice, so I'm going to start from the beginning. I'm going to go through Greece, San Marino. I'm going to talk about Armenia. I'm going to talk about Ireland. I'm going to talk about Moldova, Switzerland, Latvia, Romania, Denmark, Sweden, Austria, Israel, and then I am going to get to the Big Five: France, Spain, Italy, United Kingdom, and finally Germany. So let's do that. Okay. So let's start off talking about Greece. I'm going to try and go through this quickly so then I can just answer questions, which is sometimes easier said than done, but I'm really going to try hard to do it this time. So Greece, I said this to Katerin Dushka when I sat down to interview her today, which was awesome. That interview is going to be coming to you tomorrow, so definitely look out for that. I had a really great conversation with her, and everything that people say about her being lovely is absolutely true. I just have to say that. So the only thing missing from Greece's performance is honestly her crown. It's great. It's visually striking. It's something different. I mean, and the thing is, and then with the staging, it's a little bit different. No one's really doing quite what she's doing, and I think it's really, really thoughtful, and it shows. It looks like they really thought about what they were going to do and how they were going to tell the story on stage, and it's just great. The production is flawless, and you guys know that I was like nervous like a stage mom for this song because the minute that I heard it, I fell in love with it, just like I fell in love with Greece's entry last year. But unfortunately, that didn't translate to stage as well as it needed to. And this year, I mean, they're definitely making up for it. It's really, really great. Let's talk about San Marino. It's great, actually. The staging looks really, really good. It sounds and also looks a lot of fun. And some people were saying, like, really, it looked good. And from where I was sitting in the press area and watching it 3 times, it looked really, really professional. Yes, it's a little campy. Yes, it's a little cheesy, but I think that that's part of its appeal, and I think it makes it really, really enduring. So I just want to pause and say, if you're asking questions, just hold on. I'm going to try and go through each recording, each rehearsal today, and I actually am going to try and power through this really quickly. And so then we can just get into having a conversation because that's what this all about. I want to talk to you guys. So Armenia, the updated styling is great. It's really, really good. I mean, if I'm being picky, her diction could be better because this is the thing. She's such a great vocalist that I feel like I don't need, she really doesn't need a lot of notes. So now it's just about making it like really perfect so then no one can kind of say anything challenging about it. I think her diction could be a little bit better, but at the end of the day, she is vocally superior than many of the participants this year. And it just shows she's so, so good. Um, and then I would say, and this is just a note because I'm a shorty and I know what it's like to be short. And I do feel like they could shoot her differently to make her look taller. And the song is such a commanding song. I almost want to see her like and looking like this giant, powerful woman. And that's not to say that us shorties can't, wield power from our short stature. But at the end of the day, I mean, everyone wants to look their best. And I think there's a way that they could just get the camera on her that would just make her look better. But the song is really good. I do still think Armenia is in trouble when it comes to qualifying. I just do. I think this is a really complicated year and the semi is tough. So I'm worried about Armenia, but she looked good. She sounded good. I really liked it. And watching it live reminded me about how much I actually really do enjoy the song and how much I liked it when I first heard it. Let's move to Ireland. There's so much potential with this. I think there's still a level of getting comfortable and getting tight and rehearsing it just to make sure everyone feels comfortable and there's not that feeling of like, "Ooh, I'm a little off here." And someone, Gabriel, says, is Can self-sabotaging with those ridiculous wide camera shots? It's not even funny. I haven't seen the rehearsals that much. Remember, it's only second day. Like once I sit down tomorrow for the rehearsals and I start looking, I think I might actually notice if it's getting like a little bit on the Kiev edge of things, because that was one of my biggest notes from Kiev. There were way too many wide shots and it just did no favors to any of the performers. It was really detracting to every single person who set foot on that stage. They definitely could have tightened up those camera angles in 2017. I don't think that that's what's happening this year. But again, it's only day 2 for me, so I definitely need to see some more of these rehearsals and then, of course, see it all together. And you know how I feel. I think, people talk a lot about, oh, well, the country didn't have that much budget, so that's why the staging looks like that. A really easy way of having your staging look good is just tight camera angles and being really, really smart and thoughtful about those camera angles. And the benefit of that, too, is it's free. And it's a very easy way to make something look really expensive. But with Ireland, I just think there needs to be more comfort level built into it, but it was really, really good. It looked good. And people said that Sarah was sick. She sounded good. So if she's sick, if this is you on a sick day, I wonder what happens if you just rest, take a nap, get like 8 hours of sleep, and then just tea water for a day, because she sounded really, really great. And also, I really like the styling. My only note, and this is me being picky because I'm also a girl with small eyes, as you can see. There are moments where her eye makeup is really, really heavy around her eyes. So then it just looks like these black slits and like a full red lip. We don't want to do that. This is me nitpicking, but making sure that the makeup is in a way that we're opening her eyes up a little bit because it's so cute. Okay. So Stefan says, please, this no excuse, but Ireland, Sarah McTurnan is sick. She has an infection, wisdom teeth. She had needle pain just before she got on the stage, so hats off to her. And like I said, Stefan, actually, she sounds great. She didn't sound bad at all. So again, if this is her on a sick day, imagine what she'll do with some rest. Because she sounded great. People are asking, have I talked about Italy yet? No, I haven't. I'm going to do the big five. And right now, Ireland, I'm wrapping that up, and I'm going to move on to Moldova. Here's the thing. Moldova is actually good, and I actually really like her voice, but some people really are adverse to her vocal tone and kind of some of her phrasing. That's not the issue with this performance all. I think she's an amazing vocalist, and I actually really like her vocal tone. I like the fact that it's a little bit unique. It doesn't sound generic by any means. But at the end, and I can understand why Moldova's song would be a guilty pleasure for some folks, but I think it's a guilty pleasure that you should remain guilty about, because even though the styling is good, she sounds good. There are no bum notes, and she looks, did I say she looked good? And I do think the Sand Artist is cool, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really truly save the act, because it is still probably the most dated song in the competition. And that's saying a lot. I think that that's saying a lot. Switzerland. when Luca has his dance solo, it's not translating very well. We need tighter camera angles because he look on. And um, yeah. And yeah, so I had this moment where watching Switzerland, and mind you, this is my first time seeing Switzerland's performance. I was wondering, I got flashbacks of both like Benjamin and Mikolas Yosef from last year. So I got flashbacks of Mikolas Yosef because let's be real. Mikolas, he couldn't really dance, but that was kind of part of his charm. Yeah, that was sort of part of Mikolas's charm. You know, he kind of couldn't dance, but he owned that fact and was kind of singing like this swagged out song, but it was charming. Whereas then you have on the opposite end of the spectrum, you sort of have a Benjamin Ingrosso who's doing this really ultra high production, really slick, and he's like this boy who's feeling really confident. Now, here's the thing. Mikolas and Benjamin both have vocal issues on the night of the grand final. This is a fact. That's not shade. Like, they both have vocal issues. I think people at home, though, this is the thing. Switzerland is not in trouble. Switzerland is going to be in the final. I think Switzerland is fine. For me, I'm just trying to work out, well, where is it going to end up in the leaderboard? Is it going to have like that charming Mikolas Yosef thing? Or are there people that are going to look at it and go, okay, this is a really sleek production, but I'm not into this guy because maybe he's too into himself, or maybe the whole package just feels too manufactured, Benjamin feel, and then they won't support it. So the thing is, Switzerland was good. I do think that Luca needs tighter camera angles to kind of clean up the fact that he's not the strongest dancer, because at the end of the day, this is a really sleek production, so people are going to expect things really sleek and really professional. And when you don't get that, people can't really give you that moment that people gave to Mikolas Yosef, where it was sort of like, this is Czech Republic, and, you know, he's cute and he's bubbly, and no, he's not the best dancer, and no, he's not like this swaggy guy, but it's endearing because it feels authentic. So we will see. So let's go. So Tommy, did you know the sand artist from Moldova is the same one from Ukraine 2011? Yes, I do. And again, look, there's nothing wrong with taking staging that has already been done before. There's nothing wrong with that. But I do think if you have the most dated song, this is Moldova, in the competition, we should want to have new things happen on stage to kind of balance out the fact that the track is dated, because it is. And when people say to me like, well, what's wrong with being dated? Dated is not a compliment. Classic means older, means throwback. Throwback is a compliment. It's like, oh, it just feels really familiar and you're kind of adding something new to it. But this is a track that is just dated, and it's the track. Latvia, it's no longer in black and white, which honestly I thought actually elevated it. I liked it in black and white. In color, some reason it just didn't translate very well. I actually liked sort of the upscale styling that the lead singer had in Latvia, because it did feel elevated, and it felt it felt of quality. Whereas now they're kind of going for like the hobo chic country vibe, that even though the song kind of evokes that, it's like, okay, but we're already doing that successfully. We need something to balance it out. And again, I mean, they just didn't arrange the song in a way that really creates any type of moment. I mean, that bridge where she goes, love, 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 and then we're back to the same chorus. I mean, no, like, that was your opportunity to give us something new, and you didn't. Let's talk about Romania. I like the new styling. The dress that she had, although red, and I think red definitely pops, I kind of like this black look, Morticia Addams family kind of vibe, because if that's what we're doing with the staging, like, might as well match it. Like, I'm into that. So I really did like what Romania did. They do have some rando pyro in the beginning, and I almost wondered, was that a mistake? Because the thing is, it's like the doom. You would think that the pyro would be timed with it, but it wasn't at all. It was just like random pyro in the beginning, and like, we don't need to do that. The song is actually not that bad, so we don't need to try too hard, because when you try too hard, then you put people off. So this is Romania I'm talking about. I will say I'm still happy that they have the husband there because I really liked because he was so into playing the guitar and I really, really love that. I love people saying, "Oh, your internet is lacking." Something that I can't control. I'm in Tel Aviv, Israel, and I'm not in my home either, so I cannot control that. Apologies. Um, Denmark. Look, I'm just gonna. I don't have a lot to say because at this point, like I don't want to hate on the entry because I don't hate it, but it is a track that's just personally not for me. Denmark's track. It's just personally not for me, and um, yeah, yeah. Going back, so someone says, I don't get why y'all love Romania that much. I don't think it should qualify. It's a tough semi, but I do think if we look at historical track record and the fact that this song is actually good and there's no other song like it, I think it stands out. And I do think the staging is elevating it in a way, slash reflecting and really bringing that story to life and staying true to the narrative. So I will give them that. But back to Denmark, I will say the staging does seem lighter. I think it's a positive song. And I felt like the staging, the lighting really in the national selection was really dark and the juxtaposition didn't work. But at the end of the day, I do still think Leonore, who seems so nice and lovely, when she comes across on camera, it almost seems like, someone. So imagine you're on the bus and then you turn to your left, you get on the bus and then you turn around and someone's just looking at you like this. It'd be weird. Like, it'd be weird. Like, why are you looking at me like this? And then it's like, yeah. So I think it just doesn't read well for me. But again, I understand why some people really like that song. Hey, Alicia, love your comments from Turkey. Um, Demetrius asked, do you think that Greece can win? Yes, I actually do. Um, and Nico, Denmark reminds me of Malta 2013, could go either way. I do agree with you. I think it could go either way, but I am getting more Luan DC vibes from it because Luan DC I didn't think was going to qualify, slash I didn't want it to qualify. And again, I feel the same way about Denmark because I do feel like if Denmark does qualify, it could be taking the spot of another country that deserves to be there. I don't know, like Portugal. And what else? Alex C, what do you think of the Can Speak to It on Monday? But let's keep moving. Let's go to Sweden. First of all, I'm going to mention the fact that twist out that John Lundvik was rocking was moist. It was shiny. It was juicy. It was great. His hair looked amazing. And he looked really, really good. The styling was thoughtful. I like the way that they kind of punched it up a little bit for the backing vocalist and himself, because at the end of the day, you're on stage. It's nice to kind of give a look. Someone asked me about the Russian rehearsal. I haven't seen it yet. That's tomorrow for me. And then Kinet says, Denmark has Scandinavian neighbors in that semifinal with them. Look, Denmark might very well qualify. And again, like I said, if it qualifies, I do think it is unfortunately taking the spot of something else that should have probably, just something else that's maybe a little bit more risky. And, I really did feel like this year was going to be the year of taking a risk and mixing things up, and just going for it. So I would like to see those entries kind of rewarded more. Yeah. Okay, so let's go. So more about Sweden. It has moved up in my ranking. It definitely has moved up in my ranking. It is not in my personal top 10 right now, but it has moved up because some other songs have dropped out. And look, Sweden is giving us what we expect. It's clean, tight production. Everyone sounds good. But I will say that there is a I don't want to say manufactured, but I almost want to say like, something that it's like, it's almost too perfect that you're just like, I don't know, something's putting me off, but it's like, it's because it's just so perfect that it's like, I don't know. And I hate to reward a country for being too perfect, but with Sweden's entry, there's so much precision about it that it almost maybe comes off as manufactured as opposed to authentic. And when we're talking about a song that's attempting to kind of play with genre, so this is a pop song, manufactured, when it just seems like, oh, you're just doing this exactly the same each time, that doesn't really work with soul. It works with pop and it works very well. But you know, when you're singing a song that's supposed to be pulling on those things, I'm not completely getting that. I haven't felt moved by Too Late for Love. I think it's a great song. It's catchy. I sing along to it, but I don't think I feel like this. I've never had really an emotional reaction to the song. Like if I wanted to compare it to the Netherlands, I mean, obviously you guys saw my reaction. When I saw the Netherlands, it made me cry. When I listen to Portugal's song, it just makes me dance. It makes me move. I feel this ancestral spirit just kind of knocking on my door to like move my body. When I hear Portugal's song, and with Sweden's, I just don't really feel anything other than this is good. It just is like, oh, this is good, this is clean, but it's not really making me feel anything. And music should make you feel. I wish I had a little bit more vocal gymnastics from him. And, you know, a lot of people, when they talk about John Lundvik's entry, they talk about the backing vocalist, which to me is slightly ridiculous because at the end of the day, it's John Lundvik's song. We shouldn't be giving people points for their backing vocalists. And at the end of the day, the song wasn't written for backing vocalists. It was written for a lead singer to deliver that song. And although the backing singers are good, this is no slight to them at all. But it does in a way pull focus in a way that I just kind of go, well, I need a, this isn't the backing vocalist song. This isn't John Lundvik and the blah, you know, and the divas. This is a John Lundvik song, not featuring. So, yeah, if I'm voting for that, I don't feel like that's even really, I mean, of course it's a factor because it plays into it, but I don't know if that's a fair factor that makes me want to pick up my phone. I want to vote for someone because of their backing vocalist. Like, I should want to vote for a country because of their performance and their song. So that's how I feel about that. Some people were like, backing vocalists sing better than most of the contestants. But here's the difference. We shouldn't know that. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't know that. Because once you start realizing, oh, it's just the backing vocalist, then, you know, you lose that connection to it because you're supposed to be connecting with this person in front of you. All right, let's move on to Austria. I didn't like her styling. She had on some doo-doo pants and a crop top, and it was like cotton. And I need something a little bit more elevated. Can it be a crop top that's maybe leather? Like, could it be a crop top that's, you know, maybe satin or something? And the reason why I pointed out is because at one point she's actually like sat down and they have this camera angle like go behind her, and you can see the high waist and just the band on the pants, which, I mean, I'm nitpicking, but but it pulled focus for me. This is one of the most current tracks that we have. I think this is the music that most people that aren't connected to Eurovision are listening to on the radio. It's a very current track. It's very Ellie Goulding, her vocal stylings, which is a compliment. At the end of the day, I don't think that this is going to do well. I don't think that this is going to do well into the song, I guess, to kind of pull out of the falsetto. And I think she just needs to stay in the falsetto because it ended up sounding kind of like froggy and almost whiny. And I've even heard people talk about the studio version, like, oh, it sounds kind of whiny. I don't feel that way at all, but I guess I can understand it because it's just so at that high register in that falsetto, the entirety of the song. So then when she kind of chooses these vocal stylings in the bridge, it just kind of, unfortunately, doesn't work. Let's talk about Israel. So now we're moving on to Israel and the Big Five. This is probably the moment you've all been waiting for because this was their first rehearsals today. Now, Israel's song, he sounds like Aaron Neville. I feel my sun up on my skin. You know, it's a little bit Aaron Neville-y with the vibrato. He's not a bad vocalist. You know, I don't think that this song is going to do that well this year, but I don't think it's bad. And I actually think the song really is elevated when you see it live. And coping is doing what every single host country act should be doing, which is utilizing the stage, because in theory, your team probably had an idea of what was going to be on it. And Kobe is utilizing the stage like no one else that I have seen. I mean, there's literal levels on the stage. There is a catwalk. He's moving. I mean, he really is doing it. He's really doing it. So I do think Israel is elevating their act. I do think it is good. I think it's quality. It might do better than what some other people think it's going to do, because of the fact that it really might do better, because I really do think there is a connection between the staging, and I do think that there's a connection between the staging and the and the story that we're telling and the song on stage. So Israel should be proud. I mean, again, I'm going to say it again. They're using the stage like no other country has that I have seen yet. Let's move on to France. Y'all know I was critical of France because, look, France is one of the countries that I really am into, and I did think that their national selection had stronger songs, without a doubt. I mean, there are still songs from France's national selection that I am still into. Legit. Okay. I'm going to be picky. I'm going to give one picky thing, and then I'm going to get on to the positive about France. The picky thing I have is, so right now, Bilal is wearing a really long blonde wig. It's distracting. Let's just go back to the short blonde wig, or another wig that's red, maybe, I don't know, whatever color, but it needs to be short, because right now the long hair, it's like Bilal's already kind of like short, and it just ends up being distracting. There are moments where it's like kind of covering his face, and it's sort of like just having a long-haired wig just to have a long-haired wig. So I think we just need to have a short wig. And again, this is me being picky, because France did the damn thing. That stage, I still wish I had a vocal. But damn, it's one of the best stage shows that I have seen since I've been here in Tel Aviv. And Australia is still up there. Australia still did a very, very good stage show. But France really did the damn thing. France has like 7 wow moments in the performance on stage. Like, I don't even know what their recap is going to be. I really don't. I don't even know what their recap's going to be, because the staging was just so tight, so good. Yeah. I mean, I will say again, another note though, at one point they have these word projections of like some of his phrases. I think it's a little bit heavy-handed personally, because they're kind of like cheesy things, you know. Everything is possible if you never give up. Okay. They don't know my story. It was a little heavy-handed to me. Tell me that story song through your emoting. I just think we don't need. They're not going to take it away. I know I am just Alesia Michelle. They're not going to take away the words, but I did feel like the words were heavy-handed. I think everything else that we see on stage is already giving that message, and you don't want to do too much. Like you don't want to do too much, especially when you already have quality to work with. And look, even though France's song is not my favorite, I don't think it's a bad song by any means. I mean, it's one of the songs that I legitimately hum along to, and I really, really do hum along to it. I love it. Okay. We're moving on to Spain. Look, at the end of the day, Spain was never gonna win. So to me, them wanting to get on stage and just have fun is cool. But Spain was never gonna win. So I don't know how much money they paid for this staging. But it was kind of a miss. It was kind of a miss. There was a puppet that showed up. I heard a reference to the Wicker Man when it came to, it's a house party in it. Is it elevated a little bit from what they did? I guess so, because that was just a national final. But really what I thought would have been dope, I actually thought there was a moment where Mickey would start off in the crowd and work his way to the stage and almost like bring a party with him, you know, because you can't have more than 6 people on stage, but start out in the crowd and they'd work him through the song, which would have been really cheap. It wouldn't have cost that much money. Hey people said Russia will win, I guess. No, I don't think so. Someone said Spain should have sent Muérdame. Actually, I liked that song, and I didn't even know. I wasn't really checking for that song in the national final because when I first reacted to Spain, it was a whole bunch of songs, and I think I liked that one. But there were like lots of songs that I actually liked, and Lavender was one of the songs that I was like, "Oh, this is catchy. I really like this." Um, I do think Spain chose right. I mean, as you guys know, if you watch my videos, my guilty pleasure, Spain, crept its way into my heart. It's one of the songs that I listened to the most from Eurovision this year. But at the end of the day, I think Spain, the staging is not horrible, but I don't think that they are a threat at this point. I think Spain will have a show. I think it's definitely something for Spain to be proud of, but I don't think that they're going to win. Let's talk about Italy. There was a lot of controversy with Italy. A lot of people were kind of downing it. And I think some of those critiques were just from the bubble because at the end of the day, Italy still has one of the strongest songs this year, period. And do I think that they did things on stage that ruined it? No, I don't think that they did things on stage that ruined the performance. In the way that I think with Occidentales Karma or whatever, to me, they ruined it. The staging actually was like, oh, you jacked it up. Now you've distracted me, and I'm not really focusing on the fact that this is a good song. I think with Italy, I think the song is still, yeah, I think with Italy, the song is still really, really strong. They are showing some pieces of translation. The way that it is placed on the screen, you can almost kind of barely see it. So they need to pop it up. New York 322, we trashed our chances to win this year. You didn't. The staging is not that bad. I think some people are freaking out about it because it's bubble, folks, but like it's not that bad. My one note for it was I did feel like they have these dancers on stage, which actually I don't hate, but the projections look like they were made when maybe they thought that Mahmoud was just going to be by himself. And then they were like, oh, wait, actually, we can get some dancers to help us out. So then they put the dancers in there, but there's no tie in to the dancers' presence and the visuals, which makes it kind of like, okay, well, what's going on here? But even still, I don't think that the staging is so bad that people are going to be like, oh, I like this song and now I hate it and I'm not going to vote for it because of this staging. It just isn't that bad. ESC Romania, it's a skip. Okay. Yeah, I think Mahmoud definitely still has a chance of winning Eurovision in Ireland. Thank you for commenting. You agree with me. I think Mahmoud still has a very, very good, strong chance at winning. Oh, Steven says, why is Mahmoud so good looking? Can I just tell you, there is a moment in the song where I want him to like really drop the mic just so we can see his mouth because he is a good looking man. Oh, them lips. Okay. Oh, also, Mahmoud added like some vocal dynamics to the song, just some runs here and there, and it was so good. It was so good, and you could feel it even more because you want to talk about a song that evokes feeling. Once I looked at the translation of the song, like I already liked it. I already liked it a lot, and then I looked at the translation, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can identify with this. I was raised by a single mom too. So listening to, then knowing what he's actually talking about, it's just like depth, depth, depth. And we need to reward our songs with depth. We really, really do. Next, let's move up to the United Kingdom. When I tell you, if I didn't have someplace to be after the rehearsals today, I probably would have cried. His vocal brought me to tears. His vocal brought me to church. And when the choir comes in, it actually sounds like when his backing vocalists come in, it sounds like a choir actually. Whereas like John Lundvik, it's him and then the backing vocalist. But with Michael Rice, it's him and a choir, even though it's not a choir. But it sounds bigger than us. And he is just, oh my gosh, his voice is so good. And to be honest, like I heard someone say like, oh, he's just a sad copy of Sam Smith. Just because he's white, has some soul and a little bit of weight on him, doesn't mean that he's like an automatic Sam Smith copy, because he's not. His vocal is very different to a Sam Smith vocal. And Michael Rice has a range, you know, he has range, and he's got a rawness where he's willing to go for that. And, you know, it's been a while, I feel like, since Sam Smith has made some music. So maybe this is Michael Rice's moment, you know, to get that deal and start making some of this music. Because, ESC Romania, Michael Rice is lesser than John Lundvik. Your opinion. And J-Bait, happy you like our performance. I'm hoping for a placing that isn't in the bottom 5, and I think we can get that with the vocal. I agree. And honestly, I do feel like Bigger Than Us does deserve a high finish. The vocal was really good, and I actually really liked the staging. I liked it, and I'd be like, ooh, what is that? It's good. It was really, really good. I was really, really pleased with what the United Kingdom gave, and the people who were critiquing it and had issues with it, most of them happened to be from the UK. How about that? Let's talk about Germany. Let's just say there were multiple moments of audible groans in the press center. Germany. Okay. First of all, there are moments, the way that this song is written is actually not that bad. Like when people are like, oh, it's just a bad song, I think it's a little bit more of an execution issue. At the end of the day, I don't know if these voices really blend well together. I don't know if they blend well together. Also, let's talk about the styling. Groups that coordinated their outfits and wore matching outfits stayed together longer. And that's kind of a joke, but yeah, that's kind of a joke, but I think Germany could potentially actually be in the final and finish dead last. That's so crazy. Because this song actually grew on me. At first, I didn't really like it. Actually, at first, it wasn't even that I didn't like it. At first, I was just like, okay, what's going on here? Okay, what's happening? Okay, these are a lot of lyrics. Okay, I have to follow along to get this story. And I get it, and I like the sentiment behind it, but ultimately, I think the voices don't really blend. And the blonde, more so than the brunette, the blonde singer, she is very nasal. Oh, you gotta know. It's just really like she's singing it in here. I mean, even when you see her singing, you can just tell she's singing it really nasal. And it just so needs to just drop down so that it can truly be supported. I don't like the blonde staging with the leather pleather pants. The other girl looks cute. Mario says, I miss a cold beer in your hand. You look great, by the way. Thank you. I'm going to get to like my winners of today and losers, but Germany is you know what? I want to say it again. If Eugene was singing Sisters, and I'm not saying it because Eugene are sisters, I'm saying it because Eugene, they know harmonies and they can sing, and those vocals blend. And I think that this would be a totally different song if Eugene sang it. Maybe if some of y'all are followers of Eugene, see if they can make an acoustic cover and put it on YouTube, because I'm sure that it would be phenomenal. Okay, so let me talk about my winners for today. My winners for today. I guess I should like rank it, or I can't do that. I can't do it. I can't rank them because I didn't do it ahead of time, and I probably should have, so apologies. But my winners for today, Greece was a winner. Greece was really, really good. And Katerin, oh my gosh, I love her voice. I love her voice. I love the way that they are interpreting the story on stage. And you know, even though Kate Miller Heidke is really great, You know, there is sort of an aversion to opera in Eurovision. I get that. I don't have that same sense. So to me, I would almost say that Katerin and Kate are going to be duking it out for the woman who finishes on top. And I think both of them have a legitimate claim to the throne, aka the number one position, because and it's hard for Australia to get points. So that's why I'm like, oh, could it really win? Could it really win? Because it is a winning song. And the same thing with Greece. Greece is a winning song. It's a winning performance. I would love to go to Greece again. I've been before. I would love to go again. Greece was definitely one of my winners for today. Another winner for me today, I would say another winner that I have. I'm going to go through my notes. France. Because France, I mean, y'all know how, look, France was not in my bottom, but France was definitely one of my songs in the middle that I was like, oh, it's good. I really like it. And I sing along to it. I need to see what it's going to be like on stage because we know France doesn't have the best track record when it comes to staging. So I was like, okay, I got to see this in person. But France won me over, just absolutely won me over. And even Bilal's voice was great. Ivana says, Alesia, sorry to ask you on this. Do you think that we'll qualify? I'm guessing asking about Croatia. I don't. I don't think that Croatia is going to qualify. And I know some people are like, oh, but his vocal's so good, so maybe he'll get jury points and that will propel him. I think the package is a little too, I think the package is still a little bit too dated overall. And real talk, those wings, at least, and dare I say the white wings were better than these gold ones. The gold ones look a little burnt and sad. At least the white ones were just, you know, stuck out. But I mean, all in all, I don't think he should have the wings at all, but whatever. My other winner is the United Kingdom because, you know, and it's crazy because if I sit down and interview Michael Rice, I'm like, I might cry. Which is crazy because I don't know. I'm really not an emotional person. That's like a disclaimer. Like most of my friends were like, Alesia, like you do not cry. Yeah, that vocal actually, it gave me goose. I felt it. Craig Somerville says, do you think Austria will qualify? I don't. I don't, but if they qualify, it would be the shock non-qualifier. And I'm wondering who are they booting off the boat because you'd be taking someone else's spot. Yeah, so I guess those are my winners. The United Kingdom, France, and Greece. So if I had to rank it, I'd probably say France, I guess, is my number one of today, my winner of today, just because I really did feel that the song was not really doing anything that different, the song. And I felt like Bilal's vocal wasn't doing enough dynamics to really elevate the okay song into extraordinary. But I stand corrected in this moment right now, what they did on stage. So it wasn't just about, what they needed was the staging. They needed to tell the story and they're doing it. It's so great. So that had a longer way to go. So I'll say that. And then my number two for the day would be Greece. But again, I was expecting Greece to be good. I had no fear. Greece would deliver. John says, come on, really, UK? Yeah. And then, yeah, and my third position as a winner today is the UK. Because Michael Rice basically made me cry, but I talked myself down off of that cliff of tears because I didn't want to mess up my makeup, you know, these basic things. So my losers for today, let me talk about my losers for today. Who are my, well, I mean, Moldova was already in my bottom. And I do think that they at least tried to do something innovative. Well, not innovative, but I think they tried to do something entertaining for the staging to help tell the story. But this package is just not worthy of Anna. And she even came in the press room and was just singing. And it just, y'all know, it just irks me to no end. It really frustrates me when you have these amazing, strong vocalists who can do so much and you give them a package that is dated. Moldova has no business being in the final. Just none. Another loser for me today. Well, Germany. Germany's definitely a loser because I think there was a little bit of a cult around folks, like a cult around the people who really did like Germany. And I think they might have put off those people who were kind of like, oh, but the song is so good and blah, blah, blah. Like, I just really like it with the staging because, again, I'm telling you, there were audible groans in the press room when certain, yeah. Another loser for today. Well, I think Spain might be a loser for me today because I think they had the gem of not having to spend much money at all. And they spent money, and the product that they gave us is just a little bit off putting. And they could have just budgeted this year and just had Mickey in the crowd. Like, oh, that would have, yeah, and just had him in a party. I think that would have been great. Okay. What else? Yeah. So, I should say my biggest disappointment. So maybe my letdown for today, because I don't know if Spain was really my letdown. I think they really were kind of a loser because it was just like, I shouldn't say loser, but yeah, I shouldn't say loser because the song is still great. Look, Lavinda is still going to be one of my most listened to tracks from Eurovision 2019. One of those songs that I think sticks with me. Even after Eurovision is over, I think Lavinda is still going to be something that I put on. But my biggest disappointment, so something that I expected to be really, really good, and they kind of let me down. Well, it's a tricky one. I mean, there were some lazy things happening in Switzerland that I'm like, I was expecting a very, very polished package. And the dance solo that he has, there are these wide camera angles, and it's like, he can move, but he is not like this slick dancer. Like, the moment we're waiting for an Eleni Ferreira like dance break, and we don't really get that. We don't really get that. And I don't know if he needs to do more. Honestly, what I think the way we clean this up with is just do, in that series, a whole bunch of really tight camera angles. His eyes, his shoulders, a hand flick, a foot hit down, grabbing the waist, something like that. We just need these short, tight camera angles, because this wide shot of him dancing, it's not the Eleni moment. And so maybe that's the thing. And I understand some of this might not even be because it was a rehearsal. So some of these notes that I have for Switzerland, it's like, oh, maybe that wasn't even really intentional. Maybe the note has already gone in. So maybe Switzerland was a little bit jaw-dropping, like, well, here we go. Like, because it is not a hard song to stage. It's not a hard song to stage. It's current. It's trendy. It is calling for dance moves. The dancers look great. My real only note with it, like, everything to me was not that bad. Oh, but the sound mixing was terrible. At one point, they had the mic on when he's slapping his hands. No. They had the mic on when he was snapping. No. You turn the mic off when the person is actually doing a dance break. And then you put it back on when they have to sing something. I mean, that's what you do. So that's my biggest disappointment. All right, I don't have much time left, but let's, in this last 10 minutes, go through, ask me some questions, and I'll try to get through them as fast as I can say. Who is my biggest grower today? My biggest grower today was definitely France. So Oscar, I really love your videos, Alesia, though I think it's unfortunate that you feel like Sweden is manufactured. If this was, let's say, Moldova, I feel like you would have hyped it up like crazy. I wouldn't have, though. I wouldn't have. If it was the same package, I wouldn't have, because when I hear this song again, I still want more. I'm left wanting more from the vocal, from my lead vocal. And I don't think that that's an unfair statement. I think there's a very rehearsed way that John is singing this. And honestly, I just want to like let the spirit kind of guide your voice. I want you to feel it so that I can feel it. And again, I am getting that with Michael Rice. There's a rawness about him where I feel like he just opens his mouth and he's like, I don't know if I'm going to hit this or not, but let's do it. And then he hits it, and it's like a crazy, awesome run. So what else do I have? Okay. So for the past 2 days of rehearsal, which package is the strongest so far? Um, well, and this is the thing. I still haven't seen some of the big hitters because I still haven't seen Netherlands. I still haven't seen Russia. I would say Australia. Australia is a really strong package. Greece is a very strong package. Greece is a very, very, very strong package. I loved Greece. I'm trying to think what else, what else, what else. I haven't seen Norway either, so I'm like, that's something to think about and consider. What else? Top three potential. I think, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm still gonna say Greece and I'm gonna say Australia. Those are my surefires. Like, there's really not a whole lot you need to change. If that, I don't even think they need to change anything. Everything was good. Um, okay, Don Webb, can you tell us what you think about the stage this year, especially how it compares to the last few years? I like the stage actually. I like the stage. I like the LEDs, well, like the LEDs that do the flag. So far, I like the stage, but again, I haven't seen everything holistically and in the show package. We're just seeing rehearsals, and it's a little bit different than when you're seeing the whole package put together. Um, what else? Um, Joanna Lima, Alicia, do you know if Portugal had an extra rehearsals day? I don't know, but I do believe that they did ask. I feel like they said, hey, we'd like to rehearse again. Look, I would love to see Portugal rehearse again because I love the entry. I think it's really great. I think it's really good. Uh, And even with the staging and all the changes that they wanted to make, at the end of the day, when you have a good song, the staging should be additive. Um, but to me, the staging, even in its current form, wasn't detracting enough. But at the end of the day, I know Portugal wants to do really well. And I think some of those camera angles just need to be tightened up. But real talk, it's crazy to me because even some of the angles aren't the same as what they had in the national selection, too. Also, I was like, I would have loved to see some augmented reality, some graphics from Portugal. But again, I think the song is so strong. So for me, because I just like the song so much and I feel so drawn to it, it's difficult for me to even let really, like, the staging would have had to have been atrocious, and it wasn't. And Conan sounded great. So Lee Ellis, I think this year people assume and are confident who they know are going to the final. I predict a lot of shocks. Don't forget this is a family show and moving forward is slow. I agree with that. And I think I agree with you in the sense that I think this year is going to have a lot of shocks, but I think this year is going to have a lot of shocks because we have a lot of quality, and it's hard to leave good songs behind. But when you've got 41 amazing songs and this is a competition, not everyone's going to finish on top. Um, Ben Clark said, can France be like, I think you're trying to say a shock winner? Well, I don't know if it would completely be a shock other than the fact that it hasn't been high in the odds, but I think people have always said that Bilal is a charismatic performer and the song isn't terrible. And if it's staged right, it could really make an impact. And what they are doing on stage is impactful. J-Bait, do you think Cyprus will finish below the top 10? In a year that's so competitive, I could see it happening. I don't see it finishing like lower than top 15, I don't think. But again, it's a really strong year, so anything is possible. Um, uh, what about Georgia? Georgia is telling a very good story on stage. I still don't really like the song, and I don't think a lot of people at home are going to feel a connection to it. But the staging is really, really good. They are telling a really strong story on stage. The performance is good. The vocal is great. Again, I think that this song it's not going to advance, but not because it's a bad song. It's not going to advance because, I think it'll be very difficult for people to latch on to it. FYI, I've got 5 minutes left, 5 minutes left. Eurovision in Ireland. Does Ireland have a chance of qualifying? I think it does. The staging is very good. Sarah is fun and she sounds good. She sounds really good and she looks good. So yes. Someone asked, do you think the jury and televote are going to agree on a winner? Probably not. Probably not. I don't think so. Um, Someone keeps asking, yeah, what do you think about the wide shots? I've explained this earlier. I explained this earlier. I have not seen the show holistically, so looking at the rehearsals and everything, it all kind of makes sense to me. Not to mention, I think we're forgetting the fact that like Israel is a hype city. So when they pan out into the audience, it's not going to be just like panning out into like the abyss. It's going to be panning out to a whole crowd, I feel like, of people like live. So I think it's going to be a little bit different. Whereas in Kiev, the energy was different. So when they had all those wide shots, it just was sort of wide shots into nothing. Not to mention the fact that Kiev did a lot of wide shots of the stage, whereas Cannes is doing live shots of like the arena. So there's a little bit of a difference because if we think about it filled with people, I don't think that that's a terrible idea. And I have flashbacks to when Germany hosted Eurovision last, and they had quite a few crowd shots, and I didn't find it jarring because you had an active and engaged audience. And I think here in Tel Aviv, we're going to have an active, engaged audience. Not actually end up looking that bad. Alesia, who are you most excited to see tomorrow? Well, honestly, I'm excited to see Russia because I haven't seen Russia at all. I'm excited to see Malta. I'm really excited to see Malta because I love that song. And I'm really hoping that that styling that she had the other day with the jeans and the hoodie was because like maybe her luggage was lost or they were working out something with the styling because she cannot be in jeans and a hoodie on stage. Like that just can't happen. I need her in something cute. And we had a whole bunch of outfits in the music video. So I don't see why that wouldn't happen. I'm definitely excited to see Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan, as many of you know, was in my top 15. And I really, really liked the song. And I actually felt like it was pretty underrated. I didn't hear a lot of people talking positively about Azerbaijan / I think a lot of people just weren't checking for it. But I think it's a really good song. And people say the staging is very good. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, I will say I am looking forward to seeing, I guess, are like what, Croatia and Lithuania. Yeah, that's it. Because I definitely want to see Malta. I definitely want to see Russia. I definitely want to see Albania because I've been telling y'all from the jump, I have never forgotten about Albania. That song, it was the first song of this year when I had my reaction, as many of you know, and probably experienced. I'm talking about the song after, and then it hits me like midway through. I'm like, wait, this could be really good. This could be really have a moment on the Eurovision stage. So I really want to see how they translate that and what the staging is gonna be because yeah, I'm into Albania this year. I have it in my personal final, but I understand why some people are nervous about it. But it's just because the semifinal is tough. It is tough. We know a good song is going to be left behind, point blank. We know it's going to happen. I'm excited to see Norway because y'all know fan favorites, but I think it's a crowd pleaser as well. I really want to see Norway. Of course, I want to see the Netherlands. I am concerned about him being at the piano the entire performance. I am. I'm concerned because, you know, he is mime playing anyway, and I just didn't feel like we even needed to do that, but whatever, because at the end of the day, like I said before, yeah, when you have a good song already, there's not a lot that you need to do. And that's a great thing, in my opinion. I think that's a great thing. And North Macedonia, I'm not even just excited to see the staging because I'm curious because we know historically they have struggled really to qualify based off the staging alone. But I'm also excited because I really am going to hustle. I'm going to hustle, y'all. I'm going to really, really try and snag an interview with Tamara because I just think, or Tamara, I really want to sit down and talk to her because I just like her and she's just such a strong vocalist and I love professionals in the Eurovision Song Contest and she is that. And of course, Azerbaijan, I like the song. And again, I think I heard the staging is great, so I'm really curious to see how it goes. And what else? Some people ask, has my winner changed? My winner hasn't changed yet because at the end of the day, I am going off of how a song makes me feel, and the Netherlands song really just does evoke a lot out of me and out of a lot of people. So, yeah. And Eurovision in Ireland, do you think Croatia will be a shock qualifier? I don't. Alexandra, so if Australia and Greece are that good, why are they not higher in the odds? Because the odds don't know shit. um, what else? Alex C, what do you think about Mahmoud's styling? I liked it. I actually really liked it. I thought it was current. I thought it was fresh. I thought it wasn't boring. I mean, a lot of look again. I'm gonna say this. We have a very dick heavy year, and we now have, I think, a couple of male singers wearing all black. I'm glad that Mahmoud is coming out, just looking stylish and cool. So I like that. Kon Jian, why is Greece going down in the odds? I think Greece is going down in the odds because other countries are coming up. Point blank, I think that that's what's happening, but Greece is still amazing. Das Webb, are you going to be inside the venue for shows? I'm going to be in the press center for the shows. I'm going to be in the press center so I can be live because I'm going to live stream during the show. So if you want to join me during the semifinals, definitely join me. I can't promise that I'm going to I'm going to stream on the grand final. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. If you want me to, then I totally will. Killen, who do you think will win the Barbara Dex Award? I mean, I just don't even think that Rocco should win it. I think we should just give one and do that. And John Smith asked, can Serhat qualify? I think Serhat can qualify. I do. I actually think Serhat can qualify. But again, I just think he's going to take someone else's spot. And this is just a really strong year. And the crazy thing is, I do think this is a better and stronger song than 2016. But in 2016, I had a path for Serhat to qualify. This year, I don't. Albert covers. What do you think about Armenia? The last minute was amazing. Yeah, actually, Armenia was very good. I'm still worried about it just because that semi is so tough, but I did think Armenia was good. I am about to sign off. Kate asks, will you have a chance to interview Kate from Australia? Yes, I'm going to try and interview her. I have something set. I hopefully get to sit down and talk to her next week because y'all know I have been on Australia for a minute. JP ballads or dancing songs? I'm down with a power ballad if it's sung really, really well. If it's sung really, really well to perfection with some soul and some vocal gymnastics, I could be into that. Anna, you should interview Conan Osiris. I would love to. I would love to. I did reach out. I think I did reach out. Someone says, you're the best. No, y'all really are the best. And this is my moment where I'm just going to say thank you to everybody. Everyone knows I'm wrapping up, so I have to say bye. Everyone knows how much I love Eurovision. I love the Eurovision Song Contest. I really, really, really do. And you guys all really make it that much more enjoyable for me because I get to connect with y'all. I get to celebrate something that I love. And if I didn't have this sort of thing, I don't think I'd love it less because that's how much I love Eurovision. But you guys just make my experience so much better because it's just so much positive energy. And I feel like we can have good conversations and we can have real talk because you know I'm just giving you true tea. You know, I'm going to be online tomorrow too, so I'll give another live recap tomorrow so we can talk about the rehearsals tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Yes, yes, yes.